Hey Frog fans, Jamie Plunkett and Jeremy Clark here for Horned Frog Blitz, standing in the Ford Center up here at the Star in Frisco, Texas, getting ready for day 2 of Big 12 Media Days. TCU and Sonny Dykes are here in the building, Jeremy, and they're going to be talking to the media this afternoon. But I wanted to get your take. What are some things you think Sonny Dykes is going to be asked about when he addresses the media later today?
I think one of the first things he's going to be asked about is that run game. That run game last year, who's going to be the starting running back? We saw in spring camp Nate Palmer, Jeremy Payne, Kavorian Barnes. I can't get his name out. Kavorian Barnes, the transfer from UTSA, was better than a lot of people expected. Trent Battle still around, and the true freshman John Denman. But the main thing is, can they improve from last year going 113 yards a game? They got to get up there to around 150, 160, in my opinion, for them to be successful. That's one of the main things. What do you think is going to be talked about?
Well, one of the big storylines this offseason was the fact that TCU kept their quarterback, right? Josh Hoover came into the news because apparently there was an SEC school that wears the bright color orange trying to come after him, get him to enter the transfer portal. And he said, no, thank you. He is getting, well compensated by TCU as far as NIL and revenue sharing goes. But there's an air of loyalty about Josh Hoover now that a lot of quarterbacks maybe don't have the same sense of. And so it'd be interesting to hear from Sonny kind of his perspective on that saga and what it means to him and to the program to keep this quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sonny's definitely going to be asked about that in this day and age of transfer portal, NIL. Someone would be a fool not to ask Sonny in this setting. Maybe it's going to be one of us, Jamie.
I might have to ask that question.
Yeah, we may have to ask that.
I think I've asked it to him 2 or 3 times at this point. He's probably tired of me asking him.
He's ready to go viral again.
He's ready to go viral again. But hey, I think it's important to note too that Josh Hoover isn't the only guy that kept in the transfer, kept from entering the transfer portal this offseason. TCU only lost 3 or 4 guys to the portal overall, and I think that gives you a really nice picture of the culture that Sonny is building, the state of the program in general, where guys are getting in and wanting to stay. Obviously we know the rev share is there. Mike Buddy in the athletic department have talked about spending up to the cap already, so that's not necessarily an issue, but you're still seeing across the country guys leave all the time, and that's just not the case at TCU right now.
Right, and I think if we look at this roster, we're going to ask about depth. We're going to ask about that depth chart because several times this offseason, Sonny has gone on record saying this might be the deepest team he's had since he's been at TCU. If you look up and down the roster, you've got a great quarterback room. You've got a running back room that really isn't proven, but they're pretty deep. You've got to replace some good guys at receiver. You got to place Jack Bass, your Savion at receiver, but you got Hazel's own, Jamie.
Hazel's own.
Eric McAllister, who's getting a lot of preseason hype right now. I think he's going to have a big year. You got some development up front on the offensive line. That defense, year 2 under Andy Avalos, learning that system, seeing them fly around this spring was a beautiful thing to watch. I'm excited to see what this depth of this team's going to bring, especially along the defensive line. Linebacker might be the deepest room in the Big 12. They've got 3 really good linebackers in Namdi, Caleb, and Max Carroll. Max Carroll's going to be the guy to watch this year, but I'm excited to ask Coach Dykes about the depth of this team, and hopefully he goes into a big long answer and gives us a good synopsis of what that defense is going to look like.
And on the other side of that too, it's almost in tandem with the running game that we talked about earlier. I'm really interested to hear more about his perspective on the offensive line. You lose a guy in James Brockmeyer, who's your starting center last year. He's in Miami now, but you have a perfectly capable center in Colton Deary, who was playing left guard for you last year. So if he slides in, you get Cade Bennett back. If he's healthy this year, he's probably going to play left guard. I just love to hear more about the depth along the offensive line because that's going to be a key to the improved running game.
Some good questions that we're hoping to hear answered today, and maybe we'll ask some of those. We're going to ask some of those questions, and you guys follow along and see what it's going to be like today.
HornedFrogBlitz.com, 24/7 Sports, where you can get all your information about the Big 12 Media Days.